All right, guys, before we get into this video, I just wanted to say, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow a lot, and it really helps out the videos. And thank you guys so much for trusting me with your basketball shoe reviews. So because of how the Tatum ones performed on my feet, I'm just going to be honest, I am not a big fan of these shoes. They were really hard to make work. So instead of talking about what I like the most about the shoe and going into what I like the least about the shoe, we're just going to talk about the shoe in general. I'm going to go through categories that are significant, tell you what I liked, and tell you what I didn't like. So it's a free format video, and let's just get right into it. All right, so the Tatum ones are a $120 basketball shoe coming from Nike or the Jordan brand. And we're going to be starting off with talking about the fit of the shoe. Now, the Tatum ones are massive shoes. I would say that everyone should go down half a size. I was under the impression that these shoes were extremely skinny and not wide footer friendly, but that is actually very false. I would say even if you're a wide footer, go down half a size because these shoes expand significantly over time, and the shoes run extremely long. They're just big overall, but they are extremely long in comparison to the normal fit of a Nike. So I would say do not go up half a size ever. Even true to size is going to give you a loose fit, and going down half a size is the bare minimum. All right, now moving into the durability of the Tatum ones. The durability is just not good. There's no other way to put it. The shoe is made out of this foam rubber, especially in the heel of the shoe. And that foam rubber frays and breaks down extremely fast. I don't really know how Nike can justify producing a product that's this fragile. I've seen a lot of other people who have reviewed the shoe complain about fraying, even though they only wore the shoe indoors. Me personally, I actually like the materials and the lightweightness of the shoe, but I only played in the shoe a handful of times, and I noticed it was expanding, it was breaking down, and it was becoming more flexible only after wearing it for about 3 or 4 sessions. So it's just not a very durable shoe. And if that's a concern for you, as it is for me, you might want to avoid the Tatum ones. I'm going to give the durability a whopping 3 out of 10. All right, so now we're going to move into the traction of the shoe. This is a little bit more complicated of an analysis because the forefoot of the shoe has really good translucent kind of pods that really do work. If you're someone who plays on the front of your feet or the balls of your feet, it's going to work really well for you, but the back of the shoe is only rubber foam. And this traction pattern that's on the back of the shoe is just an illusion. If you're playing indoors, you'll slide out. I was playing indoors with these one time, the first time having them on, and I went to do a spin move and I literally slid like I was on ice skates. I have heard that you need to break in the foam a little bit longer, but it is just a very weird design choice to put no real traction in the back of the shoe. I'm someone who also strikes with my heel. I don't play on the balls of my feet that much, and it just made these shoes literally unsafe for me. I will say though, if you're playing on an outdoor court, such as a tennis court material or more of a cobblestone or street-like material, the foam actually will grip those surfaces fairly well. But if you're playing in a nice indoor court, whether it is dusty or not, you do have a chance of slipping out. And yeah, that's why for the traction of these, I would say the forefoot is like an 85 out of 100, but the heel is literally a 0. So I'm going to have to give the traction like a 3 out of 10 because I literally slid out. Now moving into the cushioning of the Tatum ones. The cushioning is kind of weird. So there's a massive air zoom unit in the front of the shoe, and that's really nice. There's also a plastic plate that makes the shoe feel very satisfying to dig the front of your foot into the ground. I experienced a lot of energy return from the Tatum one, but then again, the heel foam, it really has nothing. I really hurt my knees and my feet playing in this shoe. I would have radiating pain in my heel if I even tried to play 4-on-4s for one whole game to 21. It's really disappointing because the front of the shoe uses something we've never seen before. Also, with how this shoe is set up, you are suspended above the ground in the midfoot, and it's really unique, and that part of the shoe works for me. But the lack of any cushioning technology or any real cushioning technology in the heel of the foot makes it extremely hard for someone like me to play in. I even find it a little bit hard to believe that Jason Tatum only plays on the heels of his foot, so much so that there's no need for him to have anything in his heel. So again, like the traction, it's this weird thing where the front of the shoe is really good. I would say the front of the shoe's cushioning is like a 90 out of 100. I really like it. I really like the energy return and the springboard effect that I get when wearing the shoe. But the heel of the shoe has nothing again, and it hurts my foot so bad that it's quite literally like a 1 out of 10. So I guess for cushioning, I'm just going to have to give this a 3 out of 10 as well. And it's just bizarre to me, but that's how the shoe works. So for the materials of the Tatum 1, I am a big fan of the shoe being extremely lightweight. I also don't think that the shoe should be criticized for molding to your feet. I mean, the materials are cheaper and that causes them to expand more. But I do like how the shoe morphs to your feet due to the materials used. But these materials are simply not durable in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, I'm of the opinion that this shoe would shine the best in an outdoor court, simply because of the traction issues that I talked about previously. But going outdoors with these shoes is just a big mistake. I mean, my shoes started fraying after the 3rd time I wore them. I've seen a handful of other reviewers online showing their shoes looking like they've been wearing them for a full season or a full year, and they said, I've only worn the shoe 6 times. So these materials are just extremely lackluster. The shoe seems to expand and even fall apart over time. So if you're someone who needs these shoes for a full season of playing, you're just not going to be able to do that most likely. The materials, I could go over what's in the shoe a million times, but the biggest takeaway is that it's just not a durable shoe, unfortunately. We're going to be finishing up with the lockdown of the Tatum 1s. I really like this lacing system of the Tatum 1s. I also felt fairly secure in the shoe. You're able to crank the laces and the tongue is thick, which is all characteristics of something I like in a shoe. But for some reason, I just didn't feel a lot of torsional support. That may be because your midfoot is suspended off the ground in the Tatum 1s. It was just this weird feeling of feeling secure, but then I would make a move like a step back, or I would kind of do a form of a Euro step layup, and I would immediately feel all the muscles in my feet tense up to make up for the lack of lockdown in the shoes. There's not a lot of support in the Tatum 1s. And even when I was filming the B-roll footage of this shoe review, I actually hurt my right ankle. That's not the one I tore recently. I recently tore the left one. And I had to just cut the footage short because I had just hurt my foot playing around in these. All right, so before I conclude with what my overall of the shoe is, I just want to apologize. I know my shoe reviews are usually a bit longer than this and a bit more thorough, but I was so disappointed in the Tatum 1s that I couldn't really use the shoe for many months like I originally do. These shoes are just something you should skip, in my opinion, and I'm going to give them an overall of a 35 out of 100. This is just because every step along the way, the shoe has a shortcoming, whether it be traction, lockdown, cushioning. There's just no reason to get these shoes over anything else. I do think there is a small amount of people who will really enjoy the shoe if they only play on the balls of their feet. But for me, with how basketball is played, or at least how I experience it, you can't always land on the balls of your feet. You know, you have to have a full shoe that can protect you from all angles. And I'm just going to say, don't get these shoes. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next review.